Hi, and welcome to another episode of Can't Stop the Growth. I'm your host, Chad Peterman, and today we are going to talk about leadership. Leadership is very critical here at our company, Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We are going to talk about, in this audio, how leadership leads to a better culture and growth within the company that some people often find difficult to find in their business. So without further ado, let's jump into the audio all about leadership.
This is it's the best way to describe this. Leadership, it can take so many forms. There's so many different gurus on this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you're supposed to do it, this is how you're supposed to think, this is what you do. What I've kind of found out is you kind of carve your own path, and you kind of start with with yourself, and then looking at kind of where you want to be, what you want to create, what are you leading for. Oftentimes leadership is kind of looked at as, well, I just need to advance in my career so that I'm in a leadership position. Well, what's that mean? What is that? What are you leading? Especially in our industry, well, are you a leader because you're the manager, or is there a particular point where you should be a leader right now, regardless of what you're doing? And I think that's the key is any good leader, you've got to be able to lead yourself first. And that is, there again, we just got done talking about morning routine. For me, in being a leader, I've got to do that. If my day is out of control and no one knows where in the hell I'm going, and Jesus, that guy needs to really just do something, then I'm not, me providing any sort of other direction is not going to be well received at all, unless I'm in control of my day, in control of what I'm doing. And there again, that is something I have learned over the years. I was not, when I first started, I don't know that I was really a leader. I don't even really know I knew how to lead myself. It was more so I was here and I guess I'll do something and I'll try to pick up on something. And so that is somewhat of an evolution. And I think it's one of those things where if you feel like, I don't really know how to do that, the biggest key is, to me, is controlling your emotions and controlling your attitude. You can control that every single day. And you can control that every single day, whether you are an apprentice installer or, the office manager. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter what role you're in. It doesn't matter how many people the organizational chart says are underneath you. You need to lead yourself. And when it comes to emotions, can you control your emotions in a situation where most people are going to be out of control? They're going to fly off the handle. They're going to, make a rash decision or scream and yell. And why? What are you doing? All you're doing at that point in time when you come and are just, all you're doing is saying to the people that are supposed to be looking at you, well, we're really in trouble because obviously he doesn't know what to do either. And to me, that has been something that it falls into I'm not a super aggressive person or anything like that. I'm fairly laid back. But the one thing that I learned a while back is what's called emotional intelligence. And it is something that is a skill that has to be constantly worked on. But it is essentially being able to understand what type of emotion you need to carry into a situation and understanding other people's emotions and being able to help them through if they may not be as in control of their emotions as they should be. And for me, this has been one of those things where I know some people probably get mad at me sometimes when bad stuff happens, and I just go, okay, well, we'll figure out something. Because ultimately, we've got to figure out something. And me getting all mad and frustrated, I mean, that's not going to help us solve much. It just kind of is what it is, and we'll work through it. Bad stuff's going to happen. Stuff's going to go wrong. If you signed up in this business, some of you guys have been in this business, far longer than I. Stuff's going to go wrong. It's heating and plumbing. We're moving air and water, for God's sakes. It is difficult sometimes. So there again, if you can control your emotions, and then with that comes attitude. What's your attitude for the day when you're leading people? Are you, the guy that's down in the dumps and's like, he's going to need a while to wake up, or God, he is just a real bump on a log, or whatever it is? To me, that attitude is going to set the tone. Attitude is infectious. We have the fortune of having so many great people here who have attitudes that are infectious. They are on our team, and you know that I find myself saying that. I would follow that guy. I'd follow her. They know what they're doing. They've got a heck of an attitude. And it's stuff like that to where they're being a leader in their own right, and because of that, if they've got an idea or I'm going to run with this program, by God, run with it. Go for it. Knock yourself out. You got it under control. You don't need me. What do you need me for? You know what you're doing. And so that attitude is something there again that we can always be in control of. You can always be in control of your attitude. And that is the one thing that I think we have always, as we've grown and got more people with a positive attitude and a great outlook on life, it's infectious. That's why we have more and more and more and more of those people that are here. And that's why we can have a meeting where, there's nothing that brings me greater joy than listen to, a service meeting, or, we had a manager's meeting last week where everyone's laughing and having a good time. And, hey, what are we going to, and after talking about a problem, well, okay, we're going to get solved. We always do. We've been in business for 32, 33 years. We've solved a lot of problems. We'll continue to solve problems. I was reading in a book this morning that, no problems is no good. If you got no problems, you're probably not working on anything. Whereas if you got problems, well, okay, we need to get better. And that has been, for me, one of the greatest things about this job and finding such great people is that when we find great people, they're always working. There's so many examples of conversations I've had with people where we talk about 3 or 4 things. Hey, we need to get better at this. We need to get better at this. We need to get better at this. And, oh, yeah, I guess we did break the record last month too. So, well, that's great. But all of these things we probably need to work on to get better. Awesome. Or just saying, well, we already did that. So, we'll just kind of roll through this month. So I think the thing that comes with that too is, and what allows you to be in control of your emotions and your attitude, is understanding that as the leader, when you have people looking at you, everything is your fault. It's your responsibility. When you start looking at it like that, it's very easy to control your emotions. No one else can affect your emotions. No one else can affect your attitude, because ultimately you did it to yourself. If you've got someone that's not doing the right thing, you didn't train them well enough. If you got someone that can't figure this system out, they need probably more training. You got someone who can't figure out this process, you got someone who's got a bad attitude, more than likely they got a bad attitude because of you. So, there again, looking internal, being that leader of yourself will spread onto others. And then when you accept that responsibility that their actions, when you're put in a position of leadership, their actions are only a reflection of your leadership, is when you can put it all together that it's on me. It's on me. But when it's on me and I have control of my emotions and my attitude, I can lead people. I can push them in the right direction. I can move them to where they need to be, because they're going to look at me for direction. But they're going to look at me for direction only because I have control of my emotions and I have control of my attitude. If I don't, they're never going to look back at me, and they're going to continue to do the wrong thing or not be great at it, because, well, why would I look at you as the leader? You don't know. You're just a, basket case or whatever it may be. So there again, the responsibility that you accept as a leader is I think sometimes the one thing that people overlook, it's, well, I'm a leader now, I'm a manager, so, by God, everybody ought to listen to me. Ain't nobody going to listen to you. They're going to listen to you when you set the example and you allow them to understand that you have your stuff together and you have their best interest at heart. Until you do that, you're going to struggle each and every single day to lead people because they're not going to follow. No one wants to follow that. I don't want to follow that. Sounds terrible. I mean, we all can point to a leader in our lives that was like, ooh, nope, no one followed him, and everybody can point to the exact same reason. And then there's people that you follow and you'd follow anywhere and everywhere. You'd follow them. Whatever he says, we'll go. Whatever they do, we'll go. And it is because I think that those people have grasped that concept of it's on them, it's their responsibility. The big concept of leadership that I am a firm believer in is a term that many of you have probably heard is servant leadership. And that goes with kind of the concept of the responsibility is yours as the leader. And that responsibility is making sure that guy fills out the form right, making sure this guy installs that thing right. Whatever it is making sure that you're there to support the actions of those you're leading. And when you can understand that you're not there to just direct orders at them, and you're there to support them, then you start getting results. And for me, that has been a big thing, and I think I had a bit of a, there again, those advantages that you don't really realize when you get them, but when you do and then you look back, you're like, oh, I think that's kind of why I did that. Well, when I started in this business, I mean, I still today have zero technical ability. Well, I got a little bit of technical ability when it comes to just knowing, oh, that's supposed to work like that. But when I started, I mean, absolutely, I didn't know the difference between an air conditioner and a heat pump. I just kind of started. This sounds good. Hey, Dad, what's up? But so I was forced to not know anything. I had to ask people, well, how do you do this? Okay, sounds good. We'll go with your way because I don't know. And so I think with the way that I started into the business kind of led to having to ask people and having to empower people like, what can I do? Can I get the material? You need a tool? What do you need from me that I know that I can do? Because I surely can't install that. I'll get you tools. I'll get you. You want me to have the material by the back door, by the side door? Where do you want it? I'll put it in your truck. I know I can do that. And so to me, that was hoping to lead the best way that I could because that's all I could do. And I think that sometimes it's easy to kind of forget that picking up the pieces, running things out to guys, whatever it may be, doing the little things where it may not be in your job description, but unfortunately your job description is to help these people. So if they need help doing it, you're going to do it. So if that's sweeping the floors, if that's doing whatever, you do it. It's very simple. And you get a lot more buy-in when you're willing to jump in and help and do whatever. It's not well, I'm the manager and you do as I say. Well, okay, good luck with that. We'll talk to you later. That is not the way that I have found to be successful. I've never really tried it, but just from what I've seen, it doesn't seem appealing to me. So I just kind of go with the other thing. And the biggest thing is, while you're there to support them, you're also there to inspire them. You're also there to believe in them and to create an understanding between the two of you or the one of you and the 10 of them or the one of you and the 100 of them that they can do things that they never thought were possible, and they can do those because you're supporting them. And oftentimes people just need a little push, Hey, I believe in you, man. You got it. Do it. You're great. You're awesome. And that's all they need. And when you do that, then you can really manage. Then you can manage all kinds of things, because at that point in time, they're doing the heavy lifting at that point in time because they needed your belief with their skill, and ultimately you get the job done. And I think that's something that, belief, it's not like tangible. I can't see it, I can't touch it, but a guy out there knowing that you got his back, and that, or a technician, or someone in the office knowing that I'm here for you. Whatever you need, just give me a call and we'll get it done. Is extremely important. So there again, I look at the leader as kind of the bottom on the totem pole. So I look at Tyler and I as on the bottom, and it's our job to support everybody in here. And I don't care if that is, we were cleaning out the parts room this morning. We were, doing whatever we can to support. That's what we're here to do. You won't see us up here just barking out orders. There ain't going to be too many people that want to follow or stay, for that matter. And that's just kind of a recipe for disaster in my mind.